Moon, the final obsession. These are the nights of the astrophotographer. His mission: to capture strange new details, to seek out light and shadow, to boldly shoot what no one has shot before.
This is my latest shot of the moon, and I think it's one of the best ones I've ever made. And the amazing part is, I did it in a very easy way. And that's what I want to show you today. Hey, this is View into Space. I'm Sascha from Switzerland, so grüezi miteinander, and thanks for watching my channel. I will take you now through all the steps from shooting the moon through all the processing and post-processing steps that are needed. And while I wouldn't say that it makes the method that I presented you in my first moon video, which is using videos and then all the planetary software for stacking, I don't say this is a bad way. It's probably still the best way how you can do. But it's quite a lot of effort, and so let's look at an alternative. So obviously the first part is shooting the moon. And in this case I used my Celestron 925 Edge HD. So I think that's pretty clear. The higher the focal length is, the better your shot will be. Or should I say the more detailed. So contrary to the video method, here I just took a few shots. And given the moon is a little bit too big to the focal length of this scope, I took 2 pictures and we will actually do a little mosaic with it. I also took around 5 photos per half, and I will show you what to do with it. The exposure of the photos should be a little bit on the dark side, just that we don't burn anything out. Once you have your photos, go into PixInsight and just open them. And so what we do now is a very easy form of lucky imaging. So we take now 2, make sure that they approximately match, and now we're going to toggle. And what you want to look for is which one looks better. Which one looks sharper, which one is not deformed. So it's just finding the better picture of these 2. So for these 2, they're almost matching. I still feel that this one is a little bit better. It's also important that you look around in different areas of the pictures. So this one I will close. I'll take now the next one and we do the same again. And here I immediately see that this here is sharper. So I'll take that, close the other one, and we have one more. So same process again. And here I feel that this here is a little bit better, so I'll take this. And then we do exactly the same process if you have 2 with the lower half 2. So what are we going to do with the shots that we have selected as being the best? The only thing we're doing in PixInsight is Blur Exterminator. And while Ross has actually said that with the newest version of Blur Exterminator this wouldn't work at all anymore, it still works beautifully. So what you actually do, sharpen stars, you go on 0. Also adjust star halos, you leave at 0. You can actually sharpen non-stellar, go a little bit up to about 70, and you throw it on there. Okay, it is finished. So let's zoom in and look what it has done. So for example, this area here is good. And we go from this here, which is completely kind of still in a blurry way, at least when we look at it in comparison, to this here. And it's still and every time amazing what Blur Exterminator can do here. So once you have actually applied Blur Exterminator, you save the pictures as TIFF files. And with these TIFF files, you go to a post-processing solution of your choice. I use Luminar Neo. I think it's perfect for purposes like this. I love to use it for any post-processing of my astro pictures, but you could exactly reach the same with Photoshop or some other solutions. For this case now, as we have 2 pictures, it's important that your solution offers a possibility to make panoramas. So we're now in Luminar Neo. These are our 2 finals, which I took now from PixInsight, moved it in here. So all I have to do now, I'll take these and put it here in panorama stitching. Say start, and here I get my moon perfectly stitched. And all I have to do now is to say continue. Then it will automatically crop it for me. That's actually good for the moment. I say crop and save. So here I have now my moon. I go into edit, still have to crop it a tiny little bit. I like to have it as a square. Say apply. And now we can sharpen it a little tiny, a little bit further. If you have that, you can use super sharp, or you can use structure, or you can use details. Just to show you, for example, structure, already a tiny little bit has a massive impact. It looks even better. So I will leave that. I go into details. Also here, if you add a little bit. With all of these tools, be careful that you don't use them too much, otherwise it will not look natural anymore, but a little bit is fine. And what I always like is this functional landscape. I go here on dehaze, and just what it actually does, which is kind of interesting and counterintuitive, it darkens the picture. I just do this a little tiny bit. It brings it also a little bit more contrast. And actually when we look now before and after, there's an additional level of sharpness, contrast is a little bit better. And ladies and gentlemen, that's it already. And we have a wonderful picture of the moon, which is really, really sharp. If I zoom in now, I mean from the bottom to the top, we really have an absolutely sharp and beautiful picture. So short and sweet, this is already everything I wanted to show you here, and I hope this was helpful. See you next time, and clear skies.